Okay, great job. Now I'm going to show you how to do it together. So let's click on the object right here, and we're going to call this, oh, it looks like some. Sometimes, I think that's a Windows 10 thing, when it started doing that in Windows 10. But if you just press OK and then open it up again, it seems to fix. Things. So hopefully you don't have that issue. But I'm going to name this object wall, and then assign the sprite wall to it. So we've got the player and the wall objects. Okay, now what we need, the most important resource that I talked with you guys about just a couple minutes ago was a room or a level for our game. So we're going to actually set that up. We're going to create a new room, and that's right next to the object. Is this little window looking thing right here. Just going to create that, and it's going to pop up with this really big window. With a lot going on here. Okay, so we're gonna name this one right here, this room. I just named mine RM for room underscore, and I'm just gonna name this 1, room number 1. So you can call it whatever you want. For the width of this room, I'm gonna give it a width of 640. You can see it automatically changes this. If you zoom, you can scroll to zoom in and out right here. This is our room, this gray area, and the height I'm gonna do 360. That's a basic 16:9 aspect ratio. We're not gonna go in a lot of detail about that, but that's a good size for our room. Now that we're inside of the room editor, we can actually put objects inside of this room right here that we've created. So if you come up here, there's a tab that says objects. Okay, and you can see if I click inside of here, it gives me options between the 2 objects that we've already created. So I'm going to get the wall object, and I'm going to place it in the room. And if I hold down, I can drag it around, or I can click on it again and move it. If I right click on it, it gives me some options to delete it. Okay, so those are a lot of options. You can see it has these teeny boxes around its corners too, and that's really useful, and I'll show you why. Let's put a wall all the way around the outside of our room here. So I'm gonna grab this wall right here, put it right there. Now we could go through and put little objects all the way around, but that's gonna take forever. You know, we don't really want to do that. If you hold Control, you can just right click to delete them. You don't have to have the little window come up, so Control right click. You'll also notice that my my room editor is snapped right here. There's a snap, 32 by 32, and that's a good size because both of our sprites are 32 by 32. So that makes it easy. That's a good snapping. But we're gonna click on this wall object, and we're gonna grab this bottom right corner, and we're gonna drag it all the way down to here. So we have one wall object that we've stretched down to cover that entire area. Now we're going to create another one right here. We're going to grab the top right corner and drag it all the way over here. Another one right here, drag this all the way down here. And another one right here and drag this all the way down here. Now just to keep things a little interesting, I'm going to put one right here, drag this down to about, I don't know, here. And I'm going to put one right here and drag this down to here. Now what you can do, you might already be ahead of me on this, you can click your player and place him in the room as well. Him or her, maybe it's a girl, I don't know, could be a girl. So place your player in the room as well, okay? You've created your very first level, congratulations. Now we can press the green check mark and save our game again. And we can, at this point, you can actually run your game. You can press the green check or the green play button up at the top, and it's going to compile your game, and then it's going to run it. Whoops, I've got mine set to HTML5. Sorry, up here at the top, you can have a target that you want to set it to. You want to set yours to Windows, okay? Because you have to, those actually cost money if you want to do any of those. Okay, so we've got our little game here, and nothing happens though. We can't do anything. It just shows the game, our players in the room, and nothing happens at all. Well, that's because we haven't added actually any programming or events into this game and things that are going to happen. So that's perfectly all right, but let's get started doing that, because that's going to make things quite a bit more interesting. Let me close out of this. Double click on your player object, and it's going to open up, and you can see inside of the player object properties right here, we have a section for events and a section for actions. Now, an event is kind of like the when, and an action is kind of like the what. So, for example, an event could be when the player presses the space key, and the action could be make the player jump, right? The what could be make the player jump. When the space key is pressed, what? Make the player jump. Okay, so we're going to add a new event. Well, actually, one of the things that I'm going to do in this game is to simplify things. I'm going to use GameMaker's built-in physics objects, because that's going to simplify the collision system. And it sounds complicated to use physics, but it's actually really easy. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. The first thing we want to do is go into our room again and go to physics up here at the top. Now you're going to want to check this room is physics world box right there. Check room is physics world. And then we're also going to check, and then you'll see here they've got gravity. You also want to set both of these to 0.0. This one starts out at 10.0. We want to put both of them to 0.0, because this is going to be kind of a top, or more like an isometric when we get the other graphics in, kind of an isometric game. So we're going to set the physics, the gravity to 0 on both of those.
Hello everyone.
Okay? And you can press the green check mark, and that part's done. Now open up your player object.
Tomorrow gonna be Christmas.
And open up your wall object. Well, just one at a time. Open up the player object. Check the uses physics box right there. It's going to add some extra things over here. Okay? You don't have to really worry about this, other than the collision shape. We're going to want to change that to a box instead of a circle. And we want to make sure that this collision shape aligns with our sprite. So we're going to go to Modify Collision Shape, and it's going to bring up this window right here. Now in this window, this yellow box represents where the collision is for this object, but that doesn't align up with our actual sprite here. You can see it's a little bit over to the left. So if you move this right here and move this down here to where it lines up, now the collision should match up with our sprite like that. And we're going to press the OK button. So we've created this physics object now just by checking uses physics and modifying the collision shape right here and making sure that we're in box to create a physics object. Great. Now open up the wall object, and we're going to do a mini challenge turn the wall object into a physics object as well. See if you can remember
Hello,
how to
Grace.
do it. I'm gonna you can pause the video right now, and then I'll come back with you in a second. Okay, great job.
Switch.
Now I'm gonna show you how I would do it. I check the collision box right here for uses
Yep.
physics,
So,
and then I do switch collision shape to box and modify the collision shape. And I would
First
come in
time I
here,
see.
scroll for zooming, and I would
Beta.
align this to where it matched up with the sprite.
okay.
Press the OK button.
So,
So now
yeah.
we've created the wall object
gonna
as a
improve
collision
our
object as
game
well.
a little bit. Well,
Now this particular wall, we don't want the player to be able to move them. We
just
want them to be
change.
so heavy and solid that the player can't move them. Now the secret to making an object so heavy and
Not really
that
good.
nothing can move it in the game is the density of the cube.
so
And we
I
want to
just
give it a
change this
0.0
inventor box
density.
and
What
set
that
the depth
essentially does is it gives it an
to
infinite
minus
weight.
20. It was
Or
minus
infinite,
10.
I guess weight's a good example.
Now, when
Where
you
the
go
object
into
can't move at all, nothing
you
can
can
push it, it's got
lower it.
infinite weight. And that's what we're going to do with the wall object.
After
Okay, so now all of our
2
objects
days
and our room
or
are
3
set up
days,
to be able to use physics. So the rest of this is going to be really,
gonna
really easy to program.
change our
Open up the player
change
object, and we're
whole
going to
inventory
add
stuff.
movement to
We're
this
gonna
player
put
object. So we're
place
going to
like
add a new
weapon
event,
slot
we're going to
into
add a
weapon
when,
slot, the armor,
and we're going to go
body
to
armor into body
keyboard,
armor, and lots of
and we're
other
going to go
stuff,
to
and
right.
the
So
Alice
we've added this new event, which is when the player presses the right key on the keyboard. Okay, that's looking good. Now we're going to come over here to our actions, and on the side here we've got a lot of different actions. Some of them are built-in actions with GameMaker's drag and drop functions that you can use, but I don't really like to use those. I like to get people started on
So,
programming,
you see,
even though
now
this is
it's
very
getting
basic.
dark
I'll only
and
show you some
darker
really
and
simple programming. We're going
inventory
to start with programming.
isn't-
So go to the control tab over here, and you'll see a
isn't
section for
like-
code. And over here on the far left, there's one that is
Isn't
create an or execute a code. You're gonna drag
So
that
that-
over into here.
So
okay.
we're gonna do some
Now
like
inside of this
double
little
damage
action,
ball, not
if
ball,
you do
but
3 slashes
some
like this, there's a
some
way
lines
to
in
change it so
here.
that this doesn't say execute a piece of code anymore.
maybe
It
some
changes that.
similar
We're gonna set this
road.
to move right, okay? Now this isn't actual code, this is just called a comment. But what that does is it
here
makes it
would
so
be
this
like
action now
something
is labeled
boss
move
or
right. okay.
Golden chest, yeah.
But if we run our
Okay,
game
I died.
and try and move right, it won't work. We're not actually moving yet. This is just a code, it's like a
So-
label. Or it's not a code, it's like a label.
Good to
So now we actually want to move our character to the right. Now inside of GameMaker, it's GameMaker set up on a grid system. If you've ever
One
played
second.
Battlefield or something like that, imagine that where you've got a grid and the top left corner of GameMaker is position 0,
Yep.
0. And every single object in the room has an X position and a Y position. The X position is horizontal on this grid, and the Y position is vertical on the grid. So if we want to move horizontally, we need to change the X position of the object, right? And to move an object to the right, you add to the X position of the object.
Nope. Was from YouTube Live. Oh my god, YouTube will block me on this shit. So yeah. Let's move this one. We got. It's also good. Okay. So I have not much time. Let's move this one. Let's move. Yeah. So I think it would be good. Duplicate. OBJ slime. Red slime. Slime. Red, and it will do like I know. Enemy slime. Duplicate SPR. Fire slime. Yeah, and it will do like fire damage. Green will be okay. No more ding would be here. Well, it's from chat. All those dings as you wrote. So pum. So let's just colorize, I think. Let's make some red. Apply it. Good. Same as that. Done. Sprite change enemy slime. So this one. We will change a little things. So object life forms. And here collision. I just a little bit forgot where I was plugged in the man. Wander, stall, move towards it will drop a loot. Let's make experience. Let's make attribute C less. Let's remake ding dong. Yeah, just said let's put some items, not items. Forgot. Decorations, environment, torch one. Delete this one. Torch number 2. Hmm. I'm gonna delete the half of them. I think that now, from now on, we will need to do just coding, coding of experience, not like drop some kind of ball on the ground. On the ground. So, slime, red slime. Just let me put some here. Yeah. But for now, we won't do any more damage when we should. Well, we can work with this ID creation. Which one would be good, I think? Well, if I save it. If. Well. Not creator, not then. Well, let's put same here. Damage 1. Let's see. Else, let's think about it. Else. Already. Creator. Well, we can make here. So if it's not greater, and if it's not red slime, and if it's not fucking god. Now I will need to rewrite this. On this holidays I won't be able to think about it. Well, now it's only just the color will change. Yeah. Maybe I will need to add sounds. Sound system. Okay guys, one few seconds. I need to go check who's at the front door. Like 2 minutes.